This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. My pleasure to have you aboard for another Edmonton Oilers broadcast this evening as we get set for the Oilers and Seattle Kraken. Obviously, a game that I would have had live had I been home on December 31st. But if anybody knows how I spent that evening on December 31st in the backyard in Crossfield, hanging out with some of my best friends in the whole world, enjoying a night under the stars and a fire in the backyard, you would know that I wouldn't trade that for anything, let alone watching an Edmonton Oilers game in my basement. Love you guys as much as I do, and obviously love what I do here on YouTube, but put a fire in front of me, put the stars out at night, and obviously give me the best company I can possibly think of, and I'm going to have one heck of an easy decision to make when it comes to what I'm going to do with my evening, my friends. So that's where we find ourselves, the rematch between the Kraken and the Oilers here tonight. Obviously, the Oilers stomping them 7-2. You've seen the short, the fire crackling there, and kind of score there as it was just the burning to the ground by Nickelback, having a good little laugh about a big old victory in Seattle. Well, the almost close out 2022. Man, oh man, do we wish that game would have closed out 2022 as opposed to the game that indeed actually closed out 2022. And that's where we begin tonight, is simply looking for a better result. I don't know if you need a better effort, because now suddenly we've got Leon Draisaitl in the lineup for tonight's game, but I think the big thing is you need a better result. And whether that be part of a better effort, whether that be part of just better bounces going in, whatever that may be the case for the Edmonton Oilers tonight, it's one of those things as it currently stands. Just get a win, get a victory that's deserved, and obviously make it big. You know what? Let's start 2023 off with a bang. We've had to wait 3 days into the year to play our first game of the season in 2023. Let's make it count for something. Let's make it fun. Let's really go out there and enjoy opening up 2023 on a high note. That's I guess my argument for tonight's matchup, is just go out there and really make something of tonight's hockey game as we get set into 2023. And I mean, right, we've already done it once against the Seattle Kraken this season, obviously having won 7-2, and they're a point ahead of us in the standings, so why not go out there and absolutely annihilate the Kraken for a second game straight, win big time, and show this team who's the real true third seed in the Pacific Division. Obviously, Winnipeg and Calgary playing right now, and that's a game we'll have to monitor throughout the night. I'm sure somebody in the chat will at least keep us updated as the game goes along, as typically things do evolve in the chat over the course of the night. But as I begin that, folks, if you're just joining into the stream, be so kind to say hello in the chat. Love to give you a shout out for tuning into the pregame. That's the big thing. I love the folks that come spend the pregame with me. It makes the first 15 minutes before the game kind of easy, right? Lets the stream boot up. We can get our likes up on the stream and everything. All the good itty bitty parts of the back end of YouTube, we can get it going. But as it is right now, it's just one of those things where we'd like to try and just enjoy a pregame, relax a little bit, enjoy, and then all of a sudden get rolling. Sorry, my phone, here's the thing. Here's the thing that every time I get on a roll, my phone starts buzzing. And here we are right now, just cranking and suddenly buzzing with the phone going off. All right. So, buddy's texting me about TikTok. Don't really care about that. Obviously, don't mess around with TikTok, and you friends know that very well. But as we're getting going here, Owen, welcome in. Let's get to 10 goals this game now that Draisaitl is back. This is going to be a very absolutely crucial must-win game, in your opinion, Owen, versus a Pacific Division opponent for a potential third place spot in the division. I was too excited to say that, but yeah, that's where we find it right now. Is it's absolutely one of those games, right? I talked about it in a video last week. Is one of those games that we can't lose. This is not a lose in overtime, lose in a shootout, lose it all. This is a game we must win. There's about 4 or 5 of them on the calendar this month, all against Pacific Division opponents that we must win, right? The record, you got to go about 8-3-1. Tonight you start 1-0 and create that positive change that the Edmonton Oilers are looking for after practice today on home ice. Smurfy, welcome in. You're all excited to see Clem Shady back in action tonight. I think all of us can agree that seeing Klim Kostin out there for his first shift with the Oilers tonight will be a big victory in our minds, simply because we at least get to start 2022 or 2023 on a high note after 2022 ended kind of sketchy with Klim Kostin going down into the boards and absolutely banging up his legs and looking like he was going to be out for an extended period of time. But he bounces up, gets back on the bike after the game ends, and tells us that he lost a skate blade. That's what the real problem was. And that's one heck of a warrior. You know, like Klim, he fights, he obviously hits, he scores goals, he gets assists, he does everything you want a depth forward to do. And then all of a sudden when he is hurt and has to kind of wear it off over the course of the post game, he's out there the next few days saying, "Oh, I just lost a skate blade. That's all. You know, I know it looked bad, but yeah, I only lost a skate blade. That's the only problem that was really there." So that's the nice part for Klim Kostin. And it looks like suddenly the stream is lagging out. Let me know if you guys are seeing that as well. I'm not sure if you're seeing that or not. It doesn't appear to be lagging out on my side here. But apologies if the stream appears to be lagging out. Anyway, Rick, welcome in. And as we get going, you'd like to see Klim on the first line on with Connor McDavid. Would be interesting to see. I guess, yeah, that's one thing, right? Klim, I mean, he needs to stay in a depth role, I think, for the Oilers. I don't want to promote him up for having success. That's kind of the deal. I want him to continue succeeding within the bottom to mid-six, just simply because every time somebody has success, the eager beaver thing to do by the coaching staff is put him with Connor McDavid because, oh my God, we can have more goals. But how about this? We just go back and just keep him right where he is, let him rock and roll, and just let him keep producing a half point per game. Because, I mean, when we're getting depth scoring out of this team, that's when this team is best. I really enjoy when this team's getting all lines involved, everybody scoring, and for sure. All right, so Kulid, is Skinner starting tonight? That is a good question. I will need to go check with the lines, but I believe it is Stuart Skinner who will get the start tonight. I think the people who are looking for Jack Campbell to get the start were just more leery that what the coaching staff would do as opposed to what's actually going to happen tonight kind of deal, because I think at this point, right, Stuart Skinner is your bona fide starter. Yes, Skinner listed as the starter as of yesterday according to Bob's lines at practice, so that's where we're sitting, is Stuart Skinner should be starting this game. Got to stop eating those oatmeal cookies. And Rick, how do we turn this around? I really don't think we need to turn anything around. We just need to start finishing off good games, right? Like that Winnipeg Jets game wasn't necessarily a bad game by the Oilers. You give up 2 goals and you somehow lose. I mean, you have Leon Draisaitl in the lineup, probably win that hockey game in overtime at bare minimum. It's just a matter of just, I think, number one, if you want to talk about turning anything around, start winning on home ice. I think we're sub 500 on home ice. So start winning on home ice, and suddenly that, my friends, will change things quite substantially for the Edmonton Oilers. I really don't think there's much to worry about at this point. The Oilers' record not that bad off, 20-16-2. So you think about it, the Seattle Kraken are ahead of us in the division, but they've only got 19 wins on the season. So it's one of those things like, don't worry about it too much as of yet. Again, right, we're about the same record as last year, and we ended up going all the way to the conference finals. So that's where it's just right now what I'm looking at it is just get a little bit more consistent, get some guys back from injury, and we should be good to go, right? Evander Kane now listed as week to week, so that's a big time get for the Edmonton Oilers just to have a guy of that impact only out maybe another week or 2, hopefully. So we'll see what ends up happening there as it gets along. And obviously too, Rick, to your point, like leading the West, the problem is you can be leading the West, but we also didn't plan on losing Evander Kane within a month to start the season. So I think you take away that big of a piece, you lose Fogle, you lose McLeod, you lose Yamamoto for as long as we do. There's a lot of reasons why we've lost the games we have this year, and injuries, not to say that other teams haven't been dealing with it, it's just kind of part and parcel. The Oilers lost quite a bit of their depth scoring right in those 4 players, so hopefully we get it going. Owen, to your point, and Alan, your point as well, Klim Kostin is playing tonight. Talking about depth scoring, he's in. said basically in an interview that he only lost a skate blade, and that was the major problem on that play. Is he was worried how his leg would favor if he tried to step down on it with the skate blade missing. So him laughing it off. Hopefully for him, he gets it going, and tonight scores another goal for us. Klim Kostin scoring the game winner. Light me up if that's the case tonight. Yeah, and Kula, to your point too, that Winnipeg game, obviously Connor Hellebuck was a brick wall, and that's what Connor Hellebuck is most nights. But tough for the Oilers, where you suddenly have Leon Draisaitl and you have a game changer in your lineup like him, and things maybe play out a little bit differently, in my opinion. Zinfandel, is there a better goalie in the league right now? Well, let's take a look, folks. Let's take a look at Connor Hellebuck's stats right now and see if we can find ourselves a better goaltender in the NHL. I don't believe there is. I'm not kidding you here. Obviously, Linus Ullmark has 21 wins. Logan Thompson and Connor Hellebuck tied for 18 at number 2. Connor Hellebuck, though, 3 shutouts, so give him credit there. Secondary to that, goals against average, Linus Ullmark up there at 186 and 939. So realistically, of the guys that play every game outside of Ilya Sorokin, it's either Linus Ullmark or Connor Hellebuck as the best goaltenders in the NHL currently. And I guess East-West, best goaltender in the West, you can't really argue best goaltender in the league kind of deal. So that's where it is at, right? As you're talking about, the NHL has 2 really good goalies this year. Sorokin a third, kind of technically speaking. So I guess realistically, you got a top 3, and it's a pretty bona fide top 3. A Boston Bruins goalie, Ilya Sorokin, who was going to be an absolute stud when he stepped into the league and has been, and then Connor Hellebuck, who's been there, done that, and just puts up save percentage and goals against average for fun, right? That's what he does. So that's where we're at. Smurfy, you're just hoping the Oilers aren't overconfident tonight against the Seattle Kraken. That is a very good point, right? That's one of those on home ice. Don't come out thinking, man, the Oilers got this. Man, we are so good. We're going to be fine. We won 7-2. We got Leon in the lineup. We'll be good. I think the big thing is we do need to go out there and kind of show them who's boss tonight right from the opening puck drop, right? If you think you're king crap, go out there and show it to them. Don't think it, show it. And that's, I think, a very good point to take away. What do we got? Yeah, you guys are just kind of filling up on good old Klim Kostin in the chat. When it comes to the... Owen's asking me about the... not the Eskimos. The Edmonton Elks. Well, here we go, friends. Quite simply put, I'm wearing the Elks t-shirt tonight. I got this for free at Capital Steakhouse and Pizza. Somebody who had won it the night before at the bar hadn't come to claim it by noon, which technically, according to those things, means it goes into the to be used again pile. And apparently there was tickets to the Oilers game that she was going to give me that were in the same pile, but the guy that won them came to claim those tickets the moment she pretty much brought it up. So I got the t-shirt instead and wore it to the Elks game that night. Quite seriously, I don't follow the CFL near as much as I used to. I might know a name or two nowadays, and that's about it. I really don't even know who the Elks starting quarterback is. I think it's Arbuckle, but good luck to you. So I couldn't really tell you too much about what's going to happen with the Elks next year. Unfortunately, and the CFL changes so much year to year that I don't even know if it really matters at the end of the day. Is the problem. Just not to defend or deflect the question, but I guess that would be my serious answer when it comes to it. I just don't know enough. When it comes, Tom, to your question about Darnell Nurse and are we better with him or without him, I absolutely know we are better with Darnell Nurse, and the reason for this is the same argument as Oscar Klefbom. I argued against Klefbom for years, calling him not a legit number 1 in the NHL in terms of defense for the Oilers. The second we lost Oscar Klefbom, it was very noticeable. The second Oscar Klefbom was no longer number 1, i.e. that playoff run against Chicago in 2020, it was very noticeable for the Oilers that, you know what, they had lost a big piece of the team despite the numbers not supporting Klefbom truly being that number 1 defenseman that his impact showed him to be. And Darnell Nurse is of that similar situation, right? Darnell Nurse is that kind of guy that Oscar Klefbom-like in that role. Different player, obviously, but similar role. And Varvis coming in from Coliseum Steak and Pizza. Sorry, not Coliseum Steak and Capital Steak and Pizza. My bad. Did I say Coliseum Steak and Pizza? That would be because I was driving down 118th Ave. Not Coliseum. Coliseum Steak and Pizza, just as good as Capital Steak and Pizza, but Capital Steak and Pizza up there on, I believe it's 144th Ave. That's where I got this T-shirt. Apologies if I mixed that up. I knew I was going to mix something up tonight, and that's the one thing I mix up. Very important. But Varvis, hey, I'll give the shout out to Coliseum Steak and Pizza. I can imagine the dinner rush was pretty nuts as usual. I don't know if that place is as busy as it used to be with Rexall Place down the road and bumping like it used to be, but I guess hopefully it still is, because I had quite a few meals there over the course of college with my mom, with a couple of college buddies, and of course with my then girlfriend as well. All right, Varvis, to you, your point is taken care of. Kool-Aid, you're talking about Klefbom not coming back. Yes, Klefbom's not coming back. Anyway, the game has flipped, my friends. We are ready for live coverage tonight, and Brudzinski is Draisaitl playing. Yes, Klim Kostin in, Draisaitl in. We got everything we needed out of this hockey game in terms of lineup news, right? We got Klim Kostin, we got Leon Draisaitl, and the benefit, the bonus, is the fact that, oh yeah, Evander Kane's only week to week, so we are getting closer to seeing Evander Kane return, as Gene Principe shows truly how to party New Year's style by throwing away all your one-time use decorations into, I believe, the eco-compost bag, despite most of that being plastic, and I don't think you can recycle it. That's okay, Gene. We won't bother you too much. Just put it in the green bin. The city will sort it out. You pay those taxes for a reason, so it's just what it is at this point. And hey, he is in Edmonton too. And what's this? What has he got here? Oh, he's got the orange and blue blanket. They must have had to find that at Canadian Tire. Oh no, it's an Edmonton Oilers blanket. Oh, he found that at the Oilers team store down the way. And he's going to drink some water. I'm talking too loud to hear Gene Principe here, and they got no graphics for what's going to happen. But returns tonight. Does Leon Draisaitl miss last 2 games, and he's still the NHL's second leading scorer at this point of the season. So that's exciting to have him back against a team that we lit up. I guess, technically speaking, we won 7-2 against the Kraken and then lost 2-1 against Winnipeg. The 2 games we went without Leon Draisaitl, we scored 8 goals and allowed 3. To be 50-50, that does not sound quite my way. But when we get to it, Michael, yes, the good news is on Oscar Klefbom today, that he is doing good in Sweden. I think what I read is he's fishing lots, so maybe he'll be potentially a fan of the Dolynny TV fishing vlogs from back in the day. Might tour Oscar Klefbom one day around Cold Lake, Alberta, if he hasn't already been. Hey, I don't know. Just throwing out spitball ideas here, but let's have a little bit of fun with that. And Brudzinski, you heard that Kane wants to be back 3rd week of January. Yeah, I think the big thing was everybody targeted kind of that soft landing of late February. March kind of was the area, right? 3 to 4 months. And now all of a sudden Evander Kane targeting, I think, recovering in time to be back solidly before February or that 1st week of February. And that's big news. We've got the land acknowledgement on the big screen at Rogers Place right now, so we are just about ready for anthems and then some Edmonton Oilers hockey. Obviously a 2-anthem broadcast, so if you're wondering where the play-by-play of the game is, it'll be here in a few seconds, but we're just kind of getting through this pre-game amble, friends. I'm going to see that we've got the Molson Cup presentation, so I'm just going to send a test ad. Let me know if you get it. And secondary to that, for those of you who don't get the ad and you might be new to the channel, this is a big thing that I got to promote tonight. Simply put, if you're new to the channel, I need you to consider hitting that subscribe button and stick around with us here on Dolynny TV, simply because as it sits, we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. Starting this live stream, 127 away. All right, there is simple math based on what I've done over the past 2 weeks that I will have the 10,000 subscriber mark by Sunday at the latest here on Dolynny TV. So again, you could kind of change that number in the math there if you are new and consider hitting that subscribe button. But appreciate you guys being along for the ride. And with that, I'm going to fire up a poll here and we're going to see how this one changes. I like doing this every once in a while. Normally I promote a video up there, but we're going to go here. Who wins tonight? This is a simple question. I love this. Kraken, Oilers, and let's see what else we got going here. Do we want the third? What do we want the third option to be here? I think we've got. I think we've got the third option here pretty well tossed up. How about this? How about this? I got this. I always like to throw a random one in there, and I just simply cannot do that. That one is for you there, Varvis, right tonight, if you're still in the chat. But as we get set here, Owen will catch you in the intermission. Adam Larson on the ice to begin tonight's hockey game. Still looking like Adam Larson. Give me a quick second. I'm going to run upstairs and grab some water. I didn't do that yet, so give me a moment and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. We've got the water. That's obviously right here in the old Emco HVAC mug. Schwag is the best part of anything in the world when you work in any kind of job. Hence the, oh friends, hold on. Do I have this readily available? No, I don't. Give me a second. I don't know how many of you that tune into live streams nowadays would know that I have this thing or that this thing exists. But when I'm talking about swag and stuff like that, the best swag in the world is the Dolynny TV front license plate. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite things that I've ever had custom made for me in my life. Is Budsy there back up in Cold Lake back in, I believe, 2020, made me a Dolynny TV custom front license plate. And actually, if you ever drive around, shout out as well, K3 Promotions for doing up this art piece for me. But quite simply put, if you ever drive around southern Alberta enough, Calgary in particular, potentially the Stony Trail, you may see out in the wild somewhere out there. I gave a Dolynny TV front license plate to a friend, and I know for a fact it's still on his truck today. Anyway, K3 Promotions, sticker on there. Let's get this going. Friends, it is Edmonton Oilers hockey time. We are ready to get going. Varvis sitting here saying yes, the Kraken are looking to be scrappy tonight because they are looking for revenge. Let's get it going. Martin Jones in net for the Seattle Kraken. And here's the thing. Martin Jones has had a good season this year. 15-5-3, 296 goals against average, somehow an 888 save percentage, but the man's won 7 more games than he's lost. Can you say Jack Campbell early in the season? Yes, you can. As we will also see in net for the Oilers, 12-9-1, Stuart Skinner, 278 goals against average and a 917 save percentage. So what that basically tells me is that Martin Jones, when he's in net with the Seattle Kraken in front of him, he does not face a ton of shots. That is hence why the save percentage is so far down there. Puck is underway into the Kraken zone. Matthias Janmark going out there chasing after it. That means Clem Shady is out there doing his thing with the Edmonton Oilers. His first shift back from action is the first shift of the game following a defeat against the Winnipeg Jets in which he went down post-game. Anyway, Julie, welcome into the live stream. Everybody's just kind of trickling in here as we get set for tonight's action between the Kraken and Oilers. We're 13 seconds in. The graphic hasn't even updated to tell us we're live yet. Oh my goodness. Here we go. We are actually out in front of something on Sportsnet today as Nugent Hopkins loses a face-off, his second of the period so far in 16 seconds. You gotta love that. That's the hardest part about being an Oilers fan, is watching Ryan Nugent Hopkins absolutely struggle in the face-off dot. But here's coming Nugent Hopkins down the wing, coming back the other way. He's gonna turn back to Klim Kostin, who's got it in the corner. He tries to forward into the crease to Matthias Janmark, but couldn't get it over there. So unfortunately, that'll just be what it'll be. And something I learned here recently is just when I'm doing the play-by-play, sit here and watch the game and do it, and then check the comments during the commercial break. An icing call here against the Edmonton Oilers. Tyson Barrie, Brett Kulak paired together, and injury news: the return of Philip Broberg as well, highlighted in tonight's game. I believe he might have been in against Winnipeg again. I didn't have the best viewing of that Winnipeg Jets game. There was kind of some major college football on Saturday that required some viewing from the people at the party I was at. So it is what it is. The Oilers win the faceoff, fire the puck towards the net. It's blocked in front. Cody Ceci down to Connor McDavid off his skate, and Matty Beniers comes out of the zone and is able to move it ahead to Burakovsky. I actually surprisingly know the Seattle Kraken roster pretty well because I follow the Seattle Kraken on Twitter, and they're very vocal about their players. This is one going to be turned back by Adam Larson after the Oilers have tried to push over the blue line. Vince Dunn moves it ahead into the neutral zone, and Burakovsky across the on-rushing Adam Larson, who will be offside at the Oilers' blue line. All right, there we go. See, this is how I'm liking it. I have definitely found an ebbs and flow of how this thing goes, and we are rocking and rolling along tonight. And obviously 4 all-time meetings between the Kraken and Oilers. I guess there's always been a goal scored in the first 5 minutes. But the nice part was this year we got to ruin their reverse retro night with the big 3 goals or 4 goals scored in that first period against the Kraken. That was an exciting time, and I missed it all sitting out under the stars enjoying a campfire back in the backyard. So that was the beauty of it. Like I said, you give me a campfire under the stars, I'm going to choose that 10 times out of 10 over YouTube. And that's not to diminish how much I love YouTube at all. As the Kraken have it in the neutral zone, turned back to Evan Bouchard's stick. He's under duress and turns it over at the Oilers' blue line. 3 Kraken in deep. Kyler Yamamoto gets back to support to make it even strength numbers for the Edmonton Oilers, and then tries to take the breakout pass, but Evan Bouchard fires it too far past him, and it will go all the way down to the icing for Carson Soucy, Edmonton Oilers. Trade target confirmed by that jersey that was at the whatchamacallit there, fanfare, equipment sale, that's what it is. That's the words I'm looking for tonight. And obviously the Oilers wearing the dark alternate jerseys tonight. That's what we're in case. See, I've got this almost packed down. I've got 3 out of 4 jerseys on the wall. Technically, that's still a Reebok jersey, not an Adidas one, but you get where I'm going. As the Oilers walk across the blue line, Leon Draisaitl out there firing a puck towards the net right away, turns it over on a blind backhand pass, and it's 3-on-2 Kraken back the other way. Chance now for the Kraken to float this to the front of the net, denied by Skinner and then picked up by Barrie. Dangerous pass, gets it through though. Warren Foegele, far side boards in the Oilers zone, back behind the net. He'll get it to Brett Kulak, who goes up the boards too. Well, you see there, it is Tyson Barrie. A dangerous line change for the Oilers is stepping over the line now. Dylan Holloway, who will chip it in up and onto the attack. Flipper do welcome into the stream as we get set into this first period of play. Now 2.5 minutes in. It's a 0-0 score between the Oilers and Kraken as things are just kind of starting to settle in. I think both teams have felt out the first 2.5 minutes, and now it's go time with his 4th line on the ice for the Oilers. Derek Ryan gets thrown to the ice. Here's Ryan McLeod cutting towards the net. He goes out wide, back to the blue line. Brett Kulak loads up a shot. Just kind of juggles one into the slot where Derek Ryan gets battled off a puck but gets it to Dylan Holloway. Holloway looking to draw a penalty, can't do it. Ryan McLeod, hammered shot from Brett Kulak, blocked in front. That's a scramble of a sequence if I've ever seen one. And here's Jaden Schwartz back the other way, full clapper, chest, corner, shoulder save by Stuart Skinner. That was, I'm sorry, like that Connor Bedard goal last night. I'm still not quite sure what I'm watching here sometimes. That was just one of those weird sequences there where they just kind of smashed it into the slot and then it bobbles and Derek Ryan goes after it. Somehow he's down on the ice but gets it to somebody else, and then it's back to Kulak who smacks it into somebody, and then it's a shoulder save for Stuart Skinner back the other way on some weak defending by the Oilers. So that's just kind of how we saw it. It is what it is. Shot, save. No, it's a block in front as it is... As this just kind of the way it's going to go maybe earlier on tonight is just the Oilers battling there. Klim Kostin taking out Burakovsky. The turnover though to the Kraken. A nice force out of the zone by Darnell Nurse, who will retreat back to his own blue line as his forwards move on high into the Kraken zone, making them back up as much as humanly possible here. 16:23 to go in this first period as the Kraken will fire it ahead again, and here comes Cody Ceci into his defensive zone to play that puck. Nugent Hopkins back to play it there. Klim Kostin backhands it off the boards. On the on-waiting Matthias Janmark over to Cody Ceci, who fires it in. Martin Jones out to play the puck in behind his own net now. Adam Larsson, who almost turns it over to Jesper Puljujärvi, but the Kraken able to exit the zone cleanly before they turn it over at the Oilers' blue line. And here is Connor McDavid moving in on goal, fires it to the side of the net, jamming it there. Martin Jones has it, and it will be a save on a puck that I don't think should have ever been that dangerous, but Connor McDavid does Connor McDavid things, and he's got that little tuft going out of his helmet again, and makes it look a lot more dangerous than it ever should have been for Martin Jones. Like I said, his save percentage not the best, but his goals against average not technically that bad. And here's Klim Kostin getting out there, erasing Burakovsky off the puck, but just that perfect kick of the skate allows it into Kraken possession. And here's the top line for the Oilers: Puljujärvi, Hyman, and McDavid. And I feel like after being benched, I think yes, Puljujärvi has that little extra motivation to come out in this first period, maybe score a goal, pick up an assist, and really have himself a good period of hockey. A mistake-free period of hockey, and obviously too, you don't want to see a young guy keep getting stapled to the bench every mistake he makes. But when you're getting paid $3 million, you're no longer necessarily a young guy making mistakes. You're a big-time piece of the roster making mistakes. So that's where we're at right now. Anyway, this one turned in by the Kraken. They're going to turn it back the other way, and here comes Connor McDavid in on the attack. McDavid the shot, the save. Martin Jones, another great test there from Connor McDavid, who suddenly has the Oilers up in the department of shots. All right, friends, and there we go. Varvis got the fun with the poll. I like that. I appreciate that as we're rocking and rolling here. And so far, it's 55% of people voting for the Oilers to win this one. I think that's the obvious choice in this hockey game. Whether that remains true, I'm not sure. But 176 points for Connor McDavid in 103 games played in 2022, I think is what that graphic said. Couldn't tell you. Either way, Trevor, welcome in. I know what you're here for, but welcome in anyway. 15:23 to go as the Oilers control at the blue line. Philip Broberg handles it on down low, and now the Oilers Warren Foegele to Yamamoto. And a denial again by Martin Jones, who just looks to be having one of those nights where he bodies everything up. That kind of looks to be how that one went. And Amzer, it's not like the last game for the Kraken. No, so far the Kraken getting much better goaltending and much better results here within the first 5 minutes of the hockey game, I guess you could say. As Yamamoto out here battling, so is Foegele on that second line with Leon Draisaitl. A shot down low. This will be Yamamoto moving down to Foegele, who will actually get it over to Draisaitl and then back to Yamamoto as he goes back to Draisaitl here. The Oilers have something cooking in behind the net. Draisaitl off the backhand. It goes back around to Yamamoto, who's going to see it cut off by Philip Broberg down to Warren Foegele. Warren Foegele goes to the far side corner. Adam Larsson knocks him off the puck there, and it escapes the zone as the Kraken are able to pressure forward. And here's Philip Broberg closing the gap quickly, not allowing the Kraken to get the attack set up, but behind the net, the Kraken fired in front, goes out of the zone, and that'll be back into Seattle's end with 14:30 to go. Somehow my stream just lagged out there and suddenly jumped ahead by a few seconds, and it's back in the Oilers' end, and here we are going back into the Oilers' offensive end as it's swung all the way down to Martin Jones, who swings it off the boards to Soucy. Soucy will go there and play it along the boards there. And in fact, I've actually watched Carson Soucy play, if I'm not mistaken, fast pitch back in the day. I believe I'd have to rewatch the tapes, but I believe he was a part of that 2014 championship team in Irma U21 men's fast pitch back in the day. Weird stat I know to pull out, but I think that's my favorite Carson Soucy thing to pull out. As Matthias Janmark will move ahead down the right wing in the Oilers' offensive zone, back to McLeod. McLeod out there playing this puck, trying to get something going along the boards against Jaden Schwartz, who swings it out wide, and Jordan Eberle has it in the Oilers zone. That one shot towards Stuart Skinner, the save, and it'll be back Dylan Holloway the other way for the Oilers, or is that Matthias Janmark? Sorry, that's Matthias Janmark. These numbers on these jerseys make things incredibly hard to see sometimes, especially with the jersey tucks. Matthias Janmark, Klim Kostin in there checking heavy to try and come up with the puck. Now Nugent Hopkins trying to meet it on the near side wing, but can't do it, and Burakovsky back the other way for the Kraken. He'll cut into the Oilers zone, circle around, look for a passing option, shoots the puck all the way down low, and Jordan Eberle unable to tap it in there. So we'll have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins get it back up high to Klim Kostin, who will fire the shot, the save, Martin Jones, and then a nice astute play there by Klim Kostin over to Puljujärvi. Darnell Nurse in the slot fires the shot but can't get it to go on net, and now Puljujärvi regains the puck in the near side corner. It'll go over to Zach Hyman, who will play it off the near side boards, and now an opportunity to go through the corner, cycle the puck around the zone. He's still skating out there looking Connor McDavid-like, and Evan Bouchard misses the puck at the blue line. That one you hate to see as Philip Broberg fires it in with pace, and it will go up and out of play, and we will have a stoppage in play. So DJ Blue, the Blues and Maple Leafs currently tied 5-5. That's not a bad thing. I imagine Austin Matthews got point number 500 of his career. By the way, Connor McDavid looking for assist number 500 of his career here tonight if he can get 2 apples on the game. Anyway, as we get going, Stoney, welcome in. Again, the big old Let's Go Oilers. I'm liking to see it. Right now, the poll with 3 options is 56% in favor of the Oilers. My friends, we've got a commercial break here. Let me send this your way. And let me also hit you with this in case you didn't get us an ad on the play. Let's go here. If you're new to Dolynny TV, I want you to consider this over the rest of the stream that you're here for. Consider subscribing to the channel. Simply put, when I last checked before starting this stream, 127 subscribers away from 10,000, and tonight you could be a part of getting me that much closer to that. And the part is, I say getting me there, getting us there. Realistically, the 10,000 subscriber mark is a kind of celebration of everything that I've been able to build alongside you guys in terms of talking Edmonton Oilers day in, day out. And that's the exciting part about this, is that 10,000 is really only the beginning. After 10 years of work on YouTube to get somewhere, we are almost at the 10,000 mark. Friends, if you also haven't had a chance as of yet, if you'd be so kind to hit that like button here on the stream, you see that graphic there in the corner, but if you'd be so kind to consider hitting that like, just simply helps us get more friends into the chat, get more people noticing the stream. Obviously the watch time is great so far. We're at 3 minutes and 17 seconds there, and these commercial breaks early in the first period are usually very long. That's why we're kind of finding ourselves where we are. Looks like we're about to get into the major part of the game, but I'll give you a watch time update just quickly here as we are at 894 minutes, which rounds out to 14.9 hours, which means roughly we are, just about 30% of the way to that 50-hour goal, which means we're not bad at all on pace to be there by the end of the hockey game. December to remember for Connor McDavid, that indeed it was the first 30-point month for an Oiler since Wayne Gretzky. That's, hey, you know you're having a good month when you start invoking Wayne Gretzky's name for points in a month. That is for sure. So here it is back in the Oilers' end. Philip Broberg flips it out, and now Zach Hyman busting down the left wing, trying to push wide on the defender. Adam Larson seals him off, and it'll be back into possession for Yanni Gourde. Back the other way for the Kraken. A mile offside again are the Kraken, and that will be a whistle at the Edmonton Oilers blue line. So just like that, that's where we're sitting, right? 30-plus point months in franchise history. Wayne Gretzky 30 times, Jari Kurri twice, and Connor McDavid once in his career. So a guy that joins the top 3 in Oilers history, being the 3rd himself. It is what it is, and we don't mind that at all. Seeing Connor McDavid and the greatness of the Oilers through those 80s and 90s teams early on, but nobody was able to do it more than Wayne Gretzky, and Yari Curry, well, did it twice, and nobody's been able to do it more than him. So that's pretty crazy to have now an Edmonton Oiler right there on that run. Obviously, the NHL has opened up a lot more offensively, and that's where we find ourselves. Kraken busting down the right wing, trying to fire a shot on net. Couldn't get it going. It'll go wide of the net, and now here's an opportunity to go back to the wing. The Kraken fire another shot, saved there by Skinner. Third save by Skinner on this shift. And it'll go up off the boards and right into the feet of, I'm not sure who number 24 is for the Kraken, but I thought for a second the Oilers might have a breakaway, but no luck there. Instead, Leon Draisaitl charges hard on the cross-ice pass and is able to come up with the puck briefly within the Kraken zone, and the Oilers' second line creating chaos within the zone for the Kraken before they fire it down into the Oilers' end. Brett Kulak back behind the net now, working with this puck, turns it over to the Kraken in behind things, and Tyson Barrie has to retrieve it and get it ahead, and this will be worked out by the Oilers, and a nice play there, tipped by Tanev to get it back into possession for the guys in the white jerseys tonight. The Oilers obviously in their dark navy blue and orange cladded jerseys as Dylan Holloway walks across the Kraken blue line. He spins to the middle, and that's another blind backhand pass looking for somebody that the Seattle Kraken just could not seem to really do anything with after getting the turnover. It's back in the Oilers zone though. They've still got things going, and here we go. The Oilers back the other way as Ryan McLeod will play it ahead. Derek Ryan tipping this one around the neutral zone, and it's back into Kraken possession. That's been the story of this one. The bouncing pucks so far haven't really favored the Oilers, but when he's needed to, so has Stuart Skinner kept the puck alive for the Oilers. They've got the Kraken all over them in the offensive zone here though, as Connor McDavid knocks the man off the puck, and he'll start out of the defensive zone, chip it ahead to Jesse Puljujärvi, who just missed a breakaway by a bouncing puck. And like I said, the bounces haven't quite been there for the Oilers yet tonight, and it's nice to see Jesse Puljujärvi smiling after that one, because that was one of those tight bounces where it could have gone either way for Puljujärvi, and he unfortunately couldn't bite it right there, but he's not minding that one too much. That's one of those, it comes down to puck luck, and you look at kind of that sequence that bounced around the neutral zone before that for the Oilers, and then this one, Vince Dunn firing the shot and the save from Stuart Skinner, who's looked positionally calm, positionally sound so far for the Oilers. Puljujärvi not too minded by that situation either, because he got an offensive zone face-off out of it. Darnell Nurse rips the shot off the face-off ensuing. It almost came to Zach Hyman before it works back to the point to Cody Ceci. The Oilers turn it over behind the net, and the Kraken able to get it back the other way as Cody Ceci will bat it there at the Oilers' blue line. Somehow onside the Kraken's Jordan Eberle, who works it down deep into the Oilers zone, met there by Cody Ceci, who flips it over to Darnell Nurse, and he'll carry across the blue line. Zach Hyman fires the shot. The Oilers pretty much nothing of substance other than the one real dangerous-looking Connor McDavid side chance, but they've now got 7 or 8 shots on this game, depending what they deem that Darnell Nurse chance the last time out. The Kraken, though, back in the offensive zone. They were trying to work this puck around. Nice shot block by Jesse Puljujärvi. That should own the coach's trust, and here I'm having a hard time talking. And again, another shot block by Jesse Puljujärvi, who gets in the shooting lane, not necessarily getting a piece of that one, but doing the right things to make sure the shot misses the net. And here's Zach Hyman driving wide to try and get in on the attack. He can't seem to get it going, but now it's back behind the net, and here's an opportunity for the Kraken to reset after the Oilers pushed it down deep in their zone. 8:34 to go here in this first period. As we'll get going, Evan Bouchard back up into the neutral, carried back in front of the Oilers' net by Nugent Hopkins, who will have it dumped off to him by Broberg, and now moved ahead to Janmark, who misses the puck at the blue line, and back the other way. The Kraken coming to the Oilers' end. Broberg, though, still on the ice. He'll meet it there and allow the Oilers to regain possession within their own zone as Klim Kostin turns it over to Jaden Schwartz, but over battles him, doesn't take a penalty. That's been the big part so far this period, is the Oilers have yet to take a penalty as Nugent Hopkins steps across the blue line, fires a shot, another save, Martin Jones. The Oilers obviously having the shot advantage, and they've started on time. Just Seattle and the Oilers have been just as good as each other so far this game. And it looks like there's a tripping call coming up now, just as I say penalty, to who? Seattle 91 will take a penalty for tripping, so it's on Klim Kostin here by the looks of it. Yep, It's an ankle-on-ankle collision that takes out Klim Kostin, so we will have a whistle as Jaden Schwartz touched up that puck. That was kind of the weird play. We weren't sure who the penalty was on because it was all the way back in the neutral zone. But my friends, as we get to the comments, DJ Blue, welcome. Good evening. Hey, no problem. I'm grateful to help you out with the score, no problem. And I really don't know what a shutout looks like in 2023 anymore. I think there used to be a certain way to do it back in the day. I never really understood that, so I think we'll just kind of let it play with me mentioning your comment there. And Amzer, you grew up in Seattle, so you're cheering for the Kraken tonight. That works for me. Hey, I have a little bit of history there in high school tied to Seattle. Kind of one of the biggest high school courses that was taught to me over those years. I believe Social Studies 20 was from a teacher whose family had originated in Seattle way back in the day and had come up north. So yeah, it's one of those things. There's a little bit of a Seattle connection in my life, just in terms of the impact that kind of lineage had on me in high school for sure. I'm getting all sentimental on something from way back in the day, but yeah, that story of his family through Seattle and what they went through as they kind of moved up here to Canada. It's actually quite an interesting story, and if I was at liberty to share, I would definitely share for you folks, but I can't. Anyway, the Oilers fanatic, 10K subs for Tyson equals Evander Kane back in the lineup. I hope not, because let me tell you, I want the 10K subs sooner than I think Evander Kane's going to be in the lineup. Although I get your point, Patrick, and I would not mind Evander Kane back in the lineup Monday, Tuesday next week at all. That is for sure. Anyway, the Oilers are really good when it comes to power plays. I hope the Kraken keep up this game. Well, we're going to see what happens here as we're back to action, as the Oilers will play it across. Obviously, they've got their number one power play weapon back on the ice, that being Leon Draisaitl, who glides into the power play one-timer position for the few seconds before McDavid on the one-time side. The shot comes to the net, back around McDavid, short side shot goes up and out of play. No, but still in play. Buck 38 to go in the power play, and the Oilers getting things rocking and rolling here, as it'll go down to Connor McDavid, who will go back up to Leon Draisaitl. McDavid sees it tipped onto his stick by a Kraken player. Barry fires the shot. Leon Draisaitl plays it in front. Oh my goodness, what a goal from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, baby. Oh, that was an angle to score a goal. That is an absolute beauty, baby. Oh my goodness, the vision of Leon Draisaitl to fire that over, but just the angle that one was. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to see a replay of this one. That was absolutely an insane angle from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, as I think Leon Draisaitl was trying to shoot that, and Nugent-Hopkins from pretty much the goal line just puts the 5-foot putt into the net. And look at this one, the bomb from Tyson Barrie, so he's going to get a point unless it hits Zach Hyman, and then Draisaitl tries to put it in front, and Nugent-Hopkins, no room to shoot that puck, puts it inside the far post and makes it 1-0. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, just like that, Draisaitl has a point. Wow, that was one heck of a short angle. Michael, obviously I saw your comment beforehand, and I appreciate the comments because it kind of tells me what to look for and give everybody a better goal call. But wow, that was an angle from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. As this one tipped back down to Warren Foegele, wide open. Darnell Nurse shoots the puck, saved by Jones. Nugent-Hopkins' 19th goal of the season. By the way, Nuge is going to have 20 before halfway through the year. That's insane. Draisaitl and Barrie draw their assists. Barrie's 24th assist of the season, and Leon Draisaitl's 37th assist of the season. So the second leading goal scorer in the NHL, our point scorer, continues to get points, and Tyson Barrie absolutely nails that one, although I think it will be Zach Hyman that draws the secondary assist, as Nugent-Hopkins, when he releases that puck, is just barely off the goal line, and Nuge is absolutely lit up about that one. He's pretty happy with himself there. That was a pretty big goal, and that's the weird part about that. That was not really a pass by Draisaitl so much as it was a shot that just kind of acts as a pass going off of the goaltender and over to Nuge. But hey, we'll take it. 10 shots for the Oilers. They've got the first goal of the night, 6:34. And suddenly over the past about 20 games, scoring the first goal has not been as much of an issue as it was in the first 20 for the Edmonton Oilers, just by looking at it there for sure. So The blocker, Skinner, makes a save. 6:23 to go here in the first period. Eli Tolvanen suiting up for the Nashville Predators formerly, but now the Seattle Kraken, a guy that yours in the chat there, truly, Patrick, the Oilers fanatic, I believe, made a video about, if I'm not mistaken, back when he was on waivers, a potential waiver claim for the Oilers at that point when we were going through it. But now all of a sudden, Clem Shady, coming up tall for the Edmonton Oilers. So Clem Shady, we'll see what he can do here as this game goes along. He's not on the ice right now, though. The Oilers have mishmash line out there. Klim Kostin not on the ice with the Oilers as Derek Ryan and Matthias Janmark and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins take a shift together. Sure. All right, game on. But here's Nuge in behind the net. He'll play it ahead. Turned over to the Kraken, and the goal scorer turns the puck over in the defensive zone. The Kraken play it in front. They can't get it going, and the Oilers bat it all the way down the ice. And this will go for an icing call. Figured as much as it would, but it was one of those pucks that just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and eventually became an icing call. But as we're waiting for this one, my friends, we're sitting here rocking and rolling so far. Let me tell you, the average watch durations right now 3:41, so I think we're en route to having ourselves a very good stream tonight. Obviously, the Oilers up 1-0. And it's much easier to call an Oilers game than it is a World Juniors game. I don't know if you were in the World Juniors live stream last night or not, but you can kind of see the difference in my voice talking about this one. As it's just one of those things, when you know all the players' names and you know most of the opponents' names, it makes it much easier to call a hockey game. And right now the Kraken doing their best to keep the Oilers off the board for a second time tonight as they work it out in the neutral. Can't get it going. It goes on back down into Kraken territory where it's picked up again, and then will be fired out this time all the way up into the Oilers zone. No icing. And there's something I still got to get used to. You see how much more light there is in this room. That's because I'm facing all three lights now. I've got 3 points of lighting within this room, and I think it's even a little overexposed in my opinion. But it's one of those things where it's very bright in here all of a sudden, looking towards the lights. Here comes Connor McDavid for the Oilers. He's cutting out wide on the defender. Can't seem to get it going. And now an opportunity to cut back to Tyson Barrie. Barrie will walk the line, get it over to Connor McDavid, who walks in on a defender, skating stick, and right over to Zach Hyman. Now back to Jesse Puljujärvi, who fires a shot. Tested, save by Jones. And now back to the blue line. Kulak hammers a shot. Jones another save, scramble in front. Hyman can't get the backhand down. It's cleared out by the Kraken. Back the other way, 4:37 to go here in this first period of play. We've had some wide open action here from both teams so far. 12-6 to the shots for the Oilers. You like to see it, right? I know we've talked about this game being a little bit tighter than I think that 7-2 matchup might have been the other night, but for the Oilers, they're not backing down from trying to make it 7-2 again for a second game in a row against the Seattle Kraken. I said the Oilers had to show that they think they've got this game, and they are showing it so far with a 1-0 lead. Here's a pass across to Yamamoto to flex up off the boards, and that is a high stick. Yes, indeed, Yamamoto knocked it down. That's the problem for Yamamoto. What we learned earlier in an Oilers game this season is the fact that for the NHL, when it doesn't come to scoring a goal, if you touch the puck above your shoulders, it's high sticking. So, right, if it's below your shoulders, it's not high sticking. So when you think about a guy like, I don't know, Darnell Nurse, who's in the 6 feet category, versus Kyler Yamamoto, who's 5'7", that's a big difference in terms of how much room you have to go above your shoulders without high sticking. So that's a weird one to get called on Yamamoto, simply because if he was any taller, that's not a high stick. But just because he is the size he is, it is what it is. But that's why we also love Yamo and what he does for us. So let me quickly recap, friends, as we're going through this one. That's some really good hand motions I was making there to cut up the, the high sticking call there. But as we're going through it, here, how about that? 24.7 hours watched on the stream so far tonight. We are absolutely blitzed along again. Thank you for being along. I feel like we've got a much more veteran Dolynny subscriber crew here tonight on the channel, enjoying tonight's hockey game. But again, friends, if you're new to the channel and haven't hit that subscribe button yet. I'd love to have you along. I think you've gotten a pretty good preview of what the live streams are all about. You can imagine the videos are probably something pretty similar, realistically speaking. So if this is something you feel like sticking around for, I'd love to have you. As like I said, we're closing in on that 10,000 subscriber mark and getting dang awfully close to getting somewhere pretty special here on the channel, that is for sure. And as it is right now, we're rocking and rolling along here on the live stream for sure, and things are looking pretty good today as things roll along. And obviously the October 7th, 2010 debut for Jordan Eberle, that beautiful goal in that beautiful jersey right there back in the day. Oilers scoring in NHL debuts. The last 5 players: Puljujärvi against Calgary, Taylor Fedun in 13, Luke Gazdic against Winnipeg on October 1st, 2013. Interesting to note that Luke Gazdic did score in his NHL debut, and that feels like a million miles ago since Luke Gazdic was an Edmonton Oiler. Now we get to see him every couple of nights on the broadcast as the Oilers coming across the blue line trying to fire a puck across, and now all of a sudden broken coverage breakaway for the Kraken in on net. Oh, Stewie! Let's go. Stuart Skinner with the old big save right there on the breakaway, and now coming back the other way, Leon Draisaitl trying to get on the attack. He's going to fire this one deep instead and allow the Oilers to meet the puck on the near side boards. And Stuart Skinner making one heck of a save right there on the breakaway. It was a defensive lapse in coverage that allowed the breakaway, just also a missed pass, I think. But the Oilers come out on the better end of it. Another save for Stuart Skinner, and Klim Kostin out there on this possession here with Nugent Hopkins on the attack, trying to come up with a puck, getting it going, and back all the way to Stuart Skinner, who will see it go down for an icing call. 3:01 to go in this first period. Oh my goodness, you like to see it. Yeah, it was a missed pass all the way across the seam to Evan Bouchard, who bled down too deep in the zone on the pinch. And then Stuart Skinner, a big save. He didn't know where it was. He just kind of held position. But he makes a big save there, and that allows the Oilers to gain the puck back. And obviously Leon Draisaitl almost got it going. So here we go as Jordan Eberle will get it back the other way. 1 goal, 3 shots Friday against the Oilers to Dylan Sprong. Yeah, it's Dylan Sprong, right? And here's Connor McDavid now. Talk about breakaways. Here's the shot from Hyman, saved by Jones. Oh, man, I'm loving this Oilers offensive attack tonight, right? They've gotten the better result so far in this first period, and I think they've definitely deserved better so far, as I think they could probably have another goal in this hockey game. Connor McDavid going turbo, waves off an icing, and he'll get back to this puck, fire it on to the blue line, but it escapes the zone. Brett Kulak regroups the puck in the offensive zone, offside to Zach Hyman. So that's tough. We had a good chance, but couldn't get it going. And I just, hey, you know what? When I get to watch Canada do what they did last night in the World Juniors, and then suddenly, yeah, we get to watch the Oilers winning 1-0 against the Kraken, trying to climb the Pacific Division standings here on a, what is it, Tuesday night after a long day at work. I was actually joking with Bossman today that it felt so much longer with him there because for the past 2 weeks he hasn't been around, and I was able to actually kind of take on more responsibility, kind of filling in his shoes as well. So it's kind of weird not having to answer as many questions as normal in a day. And I actually told him I felt like I ran out of things to do because he was there. Kind of one of those weird things to admit to your boss, but that's what I'm so grateful for. Is obviously I get to be my own boss on YouTube, but I've got a very, very great boss at work, and that's the fantastic part about it. As Tyson Barrie picks up this puck in behind the Oilers net, he gets it all the way down to Matthias Janmark in the Oilers offensive zone. Janmark in the Kraken end, wheeling and dealing, goes kind of middle of the ice, and then all of a sudden the Oilers cross-checking a man into the ice, can't get it going, and it'll be back down into the Oilers end. Tyson Barrie, without a penalty on the play, able to play this puck for the Oilers, move it ahead, and this one will be flipped on into the zone. And here's the other side too. Like, there's been some good looks for the Oilers. There's been a couple good looks for the Kraken in this game, but this has been a pretty low event 1-0 lead for the Edmonton Oilers, right? One power play, they score on it almost immediately, and really it's wide open for a few seconds, and then it's been clamped down, and both teams just kind of going back and forth, ho-hum chances each way, a couple of rush chances, good breakups with the passes, and another one there for the Kraken as it's back the other way, and Darnell Nurse in possession in behind his own net, up to Cody Ceci, and he reverse passed it over to Leon Draisaitl on the near side boards, and now it comes back across the line, and the Kraken in a save Skinner. 47 seconds remaining here in the first period. The Kraken still in on the attack, going in behind the net. Gord got it down low. 11-5-1 record for the Oilers when they score first this season. So you like to see that we're winning almost 2-1 for every game we score first, which ain't a bad record at all. And this one back behind the net. Another chance here for the Kraken to set up the attack with 26 seconds to go. Leon Draisaitl just can't seem to get to this puck. He's chasing him behind the net. It worked out in front. Cody Ceci able to flip it to the point, but it's kept in again by the Kraken. Here's an opportunity for them to walk in. The shot, the block, or the save from Skinner, and back the other way. The Oilers will start out with some room. Darnell Nurse content to just flip it into the far side corner. That'll kill the clock. No, one more shot. Martin Jones, the astute save on Ryan McLeod, and we will have the end of the first period here, as the Oilers definitely the better of the chances in that period. Obviously the 1-0 goal. Will Borgen is number 3. I was trying to still figure out who number 24 for the Kraken is, but we'll go to the game recap here as quick as we possibly can, so as I can run upstairs and grab some more water, because it would appear one more sip and I am out of water for this first period of play. But let's go quickly see what this 1-0 score for the Edmonton Oilers over the Seattle Kraken is telling us all about. It's looking like a pretty good one so far for the Oilers. As you look here, Nugent Hopkins from Leon Draisaitl and Tyson Barrie on the power play. Still think it's going to get changed to, of course, Zach Hyman based on what I've seen. But for the Seattle Kraken, Jamie Oleksiak. That's what I figured. There's somebody I was missing, and it's Jamie Oleksiak back there on the blue line for the Seattle Kraken. The Oilers 13-8 in the shot department, 22-11 for the Seattle Kraken, and somehow they're chasing this game. Obviously, they're not playing with the puck too much, or they would not have to throw as many hits. Right, Dallas Eakins? Right? I thought so. Anyway, 11-9 the face-offs for the Kraken. Obviously, after winning the first 2, I thought it was going to be one of those nights. So far, so good for the Oilers in terms of only being down 2 face-offs out of 20. So operating at that pretty much 55% mark are the Kraken. The giveaways, takeaways, not really that substantive yet to say that one team's given up puck more so, but the Kraken with 5 blocked shots in that first period. So yeah, we're getting it going right now into the intermission, my friends. Good evening. Would love to hear from you in the chat if you're just joining, as I'm seeing Noah and Jay and Ems are coming in with some chats. And Flipper, due to your point first, you were hoping the Kraken would give Grubauer another shot. Yeah, you know, that was the big thing, is Grubauer against the Oilers. Now you watch this. This is how it's going to be for the Oilers tonight, is can they beat the backup or the starter? Is Grubauer the backup or the starter? To Amser's point, I guess that's a question up for debate in Krakenville right now. Anyway, JJ, what is Darnell Nurse's shots on net? I imagine you've got a player prop on that, so let me go get that for you as we'll check that quickly. Darnell Nurse, right now he has 2 shots on net for the Oilers so far. Yes, 2 shots on net. So I imagine you have a player prop over under 3 shots or something. So right now he is at 2. When do the All-Star teams come out, Gav and Paula? Right now I could not tell you. I don't know if I've heard anything about the All-Star selection. I don't even think I've seen an ad for it. I don't know if it's just simply not on Sportsnet Now's commercial breaks or what, but I simply haven't seen an ad, so I could not straight up tell you. But I had one more sip than I thought. Friends, I'm going to head upstairs quickly. If you're new to the channel, like I said, consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV. But based on what I'm seeing in the chat tonight, most of you are regular Dolynny TV viewers, so let me head upstairs. I'll be right back, and we'll get back to more Oilers hockey in a moment. All right, here we go. We are rocking and rolling here in this intermission. And again, friends, just for the memes of it one more time. This is a thing that exists, right? Let's just admire this for a moment. This is absolutely fantastic that this thing exists. Just hilarious, I think, in my opinion. But as we're getting ready for this intermission, is there anything else that we really need to cover off? Let's keen to listen and learn more. Oh, great weather here in New Zealand, by the way. Gavin, Paula, well, here's the thing. I just lost one of my best friends down. They're going to school in New Zealand here in the next little bit. So, not to say that life throws random things your way, but might have to come on down and visit New Zealand here one of these days, that is for sure. So we'll see what ends up happening here, but that's one of those weird situations, right? I've got viewers from all over the world. Gavin Paula coming in from New Zealand, and of course, now one of my best friends coming down to New Zealand. So little weird connections right now so far in the chat. I'm loving it, right? We've had Varvis from Coliseum Steak and Pizza coming in, and of course Noah, it's going good. Sorry Noah if I didn't get to your comment right away. I ran up. I was too busy getting to every other question. It's going pretty good here. The Oilers are up 1-0, so the vibes in the stream are pretty well. And who wins? I'm liking it. Right now, 15% of 55 voters voting for Coliseum Steak and Pizza. I love throwing those random polls your way just to kind of have a little bit of fun. So we'll tear down the poll. We'll end it now, and we'll see what we can do. End the poll. The results in the chat here in a moment. But right now, we'll get this going, and we'll go over to cover up some Dolynny TV videos in terms of that live chat we got going on here on the stream tonight. Obviously a pretty good start to the live stream, about several hours of watch time right now. That's something we'll check here in a minute, but as we're at 9877 subscribers, so we are, my friends, this close now to 10,000. We have gained 6 today, which puts us at 9877 and a total of 123 away. So obviously if we can finish with 120 to go by the end of this live stream, that would be absolutely fantastic. So don't be afraid, if you're new, to hit that subscribe button and sign up to hang around. I'll give you some free bonus content here in the chat in a second for you to kind of check out what Dolynny TV is all about, as we'll show off. I don't think we need to show off the Leon Draisaitl news because that's now old news, but we'll talk about, nope, not the Klim Kostin news either. How about we talk about the Jake McCabe news from the other day, as we'll go here, watch, and bingo, and here we go, watch, pin that, and away we go, my friends. We'll get this going, and pin, message, there we go, good to go. All right, message is pinned. Let me take a second, and Kirby, your point there, Nuge is awesome, man. That goal from the sideline, goal line area, that was an incredible big-time goal for the Oilers, and I still can't believe that Nuge scored that one on the power play, so that was fantastic to see. That was one of probably my favorite goals so far of the recent little bit, just Nugent Hopkins firing an absolute dart inside the post on the far side from a sharp angle on the power play after Draisaitl missed what was a pretty gimme for him based on what he does with the puck. So, hey, we don't mind that at all. And Owen, who would have guessed that Nuge would be on pace for 100 points some 36 games into the season? This guy? No, even me. I'm a pretty huge Nuge fan. Like I say, Nuge is my favorite Oiler because obviously the era of Edmonton Oilers hockey I've grown up in. But yeah, it's pretty exciting to see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins benefiting from the increased scoring in the NHL as well. Homelander, welcome into the stream, and like I said, we're seeing the regular old faces from sorry Tim, I sit here and say old as soon as Tim walks into the chat. Oh my goodness, now I'm just burying myself in a hole here, but we see the old faces of Dolynny TV coming in this evening. Obviously Gavin Paula coming in for the first time in a while. Homelander's in here regularly, but also an old face on Dolynny TV. And Tim, talk about an old face, a man who used to wear a wrench here on the channel. Good evening, sir. I did have a good New Year's. I don't know if you caught that YouTube short I did in front of the fire this past weekend when the Oilers were playing the Kraken, but that was a pretty big get. I mean, you know what? When you spend as much time at a friend's house as I do, kind of fitting into their family a little bit nowadays, and for them to say, hey, we're having a fire, stay, and they're like, put off skating, we'll go tomorrow, we're having a fire tonight, and I say, that sounds like a plan to me. Well, that was an absolutely fantastic December 30th. New Year's Eve was awesome. Kind of cut short because unfortunately I had to come home and let the dog out. I guess fortunate for the dog, not so much fortunate for me, but it was fantastic either way. And it was a great evening, Tim, and for sure one of those that I was grateful I took the time for and took the time off of YouTube for sure. Owen, to your comment here quickly before we get to ooh. Ooh, here we go. Patrick, I do want to get to Patrick's comment first. I went to read it and then I read it instead. Saravelli saying the 7 Canadian teams are on McCabe's no trade list. May nix that. Well, there we go. A little bit more insider digging and suddenly you have information that it doesn't seem to be a chance for our friend Jake McCabe to become an Edmonton Oilers, so that really sucks. But again, maybe waving for the Oilers is a different story compared to the start of the year. I don't know. Hyman is also having a 100-point season pace as well. Yes, we're having ourselves a great start to it, and Owen's got the notifications on even. Now that's a salute right there, that's for sure. That's fantastic to hear and see what I'm talking about. All the old faces of Dolynny TV epiphanies even appeared in the chat as soon as we mentioned that. Good evening, sir, to you as well. We're glad to have you along for another hockey game. Hopefully you can hang out for a little bit longer than the past few tonight. Enjoy a Nugent Hopkins 1-0 lead for the Oilers. A beauty of a goal that it was. And sorry, the water tastes really good today. I don't know if it's something about the water at work or the water at home, but the water tonight out of the old Train Emco mug is tastes just perfect. I think it's one of those things. I've had enough tea today that I'm pretty well dried out, and I'd like to get a little bit more water into me, I guess you could say, as it's been tasting pretty good so far today. Flipperdo as well, an old face in the live streams as well. So we're having a pretty regular Dolynny TV viewership stream, which is pretty fantastic to see friends from over the years kind of celebrating tonight's Oilers Kraken game together as we're closing in on a milestone as a group of Oilers fans together here on Dolynny TV. So that's kind of what's making tonight special. If you see me smiling a little bit more than I normally do in the streams, I'm feeling quite special as we close in on that 10,000 subscriber mark. It will have taken me just under 10 years to get this 10,000 subscriber mark, so that's going to be a pretty special moment when it happens. I was telling everybody at work the goal is to not be at home when I do it, hopefully be with some friends that'll know how much it means to me, be able to celebrate it with me. And I don't know how I'm going to react when I see that 10,000 number, because I think when I started this whole journey, when I said I would be legit on YouTube is that 10,000 mark, and I think it's going to be very exciting to finally see that number up there on it. So yeah, it is what it is. But Patrick, to your point too, I think that's exactly where it is, right? I mean, is McCabe going to give up an opportunity to compete for a Stanley Cup if the Oilers come knocking? I don't know. Obviously, the Oilers have to put themselves in that position, not just think that McCabe's going to put them in that position necessarily, I guess you could say. And as we're rocking and rolling here, my friends, another thing too, I just hope we don't pay a first-round pick for McCabe. I don't think so. Because the problem is, to get McCabe, we're going to have to give something up in terms of salary. That's where it's going to really come down to it for the Oilers, is they're going to have to give something salary-wise up for McCabe to try and get something like him in return. I mean, even with $2 million retained, 50% retained, they aren't going to be able to get him under the roster cap without giving up somebody instead of just a pick. As we're going here, Homelander, I got to treat myself when I get to 10K subs. I think I'm going to keep it pretty low key. I think it's just sit here and enjoy myself for sure. And that said too, as we get going, Gillies TV, welcome into the stream tonight. My boy B. Jilly coming in here, joining along. And Patrick, last I checked, Flipperdo had 4,070 odd subscribers. So again, if you're looking for somebody to subscribe to as well tonight, I mean, if we could throw some subscribes the way of Patrick, the Oilers fanatic as well, Because imagine this, within this next couple of months, you could see Dolynny TV over 10K and the Oilers Fanatic over 5K, all in the while the Oilers YouTube space continues to get bigger, now with Oilers Nation doing a live post-game show every hockey game. So that's where we're sitting. It's getting really exciting to see this Oilers YouTube community really starting to come to life, and I give big credit to and I will always give big credit to Patrick coming in, and obviously right after I had left, he starts up and immediately comes in and fills the void of kind of that independent voice in Oilers talk. And I think he's done, prior to what I've done over the past 4 months, Patrick outdid and far exceeded anything I had done prior, which is something that I really appreciate because it enabled me to have to sit here and step up my game as well. So that's the big part about all of this, is it's really fantastic to see, right, Patrick come in and have the success over now, almost 2 years that he's had. And I'd say, yeah, I think it's about 2 years, I think it's now almost 2 years. And to that point, too, is Oilers Nation now stepping up and realizing, hey, there's a need for a live Oilers post-game show on YouTube. They have the resources to do it. Why aren't we doing it? And that's fantastic from them to see. And two, now, right, obviously the Call to Hockey will always be the top dog for Oilers post-game shows. But other than that, the YouTube space continues to grow. If you haven't, I believe it's Gene Edwards doing Lubed as well here on YouTube. You can check him out. Somebody that Patrick made me aware of the other day. So that's somebody as well you can check out. There's a ton of up-and-coming guys that are really going to push this Edmonton Oilers YouTube space into the next saga that it'll face, in which where hopefully we'll come out winning a Stanley Cup here at some point. So that's really exciting to see, is the fact that we are progressing towards becoming as a community something much larger than when I first stepped in 2018, and a lot of folks said you're never going to get anywhere unless you cover other teams. And now suddenly I am about to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark just solely covering the Oilers and dabbling in the World Juniors a little bit. So that's really exciting to see, is the fact of what we're building here for sure. All right, Gavin Paula will be up and out until the next intermission. And of course, everybody coming into the chat, chatting with each other. And for some reason, my hand is just absolutely bothering me here tonight. I smashed it off my wall in my bedroom this morning. I went to roll over, and I didn't realize that the cat was on my hand, and then he flipped out, and I smacked my hand right up off the wall. So that was a fun start to the morning. My hand's been pretty sore all morning. Smashed the knuckle and kind of right here, the little bit of my hand off it there. So anyway, the Oilers back to action. So let's get back to hockey here. The Oilers back the other way into their own zone a little brief moment, and then the Seattle Kraken trying to collect the neutral zone, don't get it going, and Klim Kostin will nail it down deep into the Oilers' offensive territory before it's fired back out by the Kraken. And now Matthias Janmark coming back the other way, and here comes, well, Matthias Janmark on the attack. The Kraken will pitchfork it into the neutral zone. It'll be backhanded, or forehanded, sorry. I thought Kulak was going to forehand that, but he doesn't. And here's an opportunity now for the Kraken to keep it alive in their defensive zone. They're going to fire it down the boards. Nice turnover there by Kulak. He'll get it ahead to Connor McDavid, who's in on net. Coming forehand, cut, scores! Oh, baby, let's go. We have a Nugent Hopkins goal and a Connor McDavid goal. And just like that, a beauty cut at the blue line of the Oilers by Brett Kulak. He gets the nod from Captain Connor McDavid, and Connor gets an absolute beauty, which I think it's the old classic Connor goal. And now all of a sudden another point for him, just rushing wide on the defenseman, putting it home on the near side post as he cuts across the crease, and or far side post. I don't exactly know how to call that on that play, but that's a beauty by Connor McDavid to blow around, and guys just standing still watching him do his damage. Captain Connor McDavid out there scoring a big time goal for the Edmonton Oilers. Don't mind me at all. I don't mind seeing that to put us up 2-0 before the Kraken even have 10 shots on the night. And now the Oilers back to the attack here. Darnell Nurse fires it across over to Leon Draisaitl, who cuts towards the net. He's denied there. 33rd assist of the goal for the season for Connor McDavid, who continues to keep his goal-scoring lead in the NHL. Tage Thompson up at 30 now on the season, though, so he's biting on his heels pretty quickly. And it's Janmark and Kulak that draw the assists for the Oilers. So Janmark's 6th assist and Kulak's 7th. So quietly, Matthias Janmark suddenly starting to put up point after point after point here over the past 10 games for the Oilers, I'd say. Definitely coming in after being questioned as to why he was on that second line with Nugent Hopkins instead of Puljujarvi. Well, now suddenly you're starting to see it. His point production is coming up. Pretty easy gimme apple there, and it's a shot to the front there for the Kraken. They can't get it going. And it'll go back behind the net for Cody Ceci, who loses the battle to Matty Beniers. Shot coming in from the point, deflected in front. Again, another shot in front, and they can't get it going, so it'll deflect out of the Oilers' zone all the way back down to Martin Jones, who's given up 2 goals on 15 shots here early in this hockey game. We're only a few minutes into the second period, and the Oilers with another goal here, and obviously 2. Connor McDavid continuing that 70 goal pace for the NHL season. Evan Bouchard back around to Philip Broberg, and he'll get it ahead. And there goes the little cat meowing again, and the Oilers offside on another pass to Zach Hyman for another period in a row. Zach Hyman offside at the blue line, and this one just an adverse play for the Kraken, trying to fire it up and catch the Oilers napping. Brett Kulak was ready for it. Connor McDavid cutting and scores a beauty of a goal against the Seattle Kraken, that is for sure. This one right here is a beauty of a cut, and Connor McDavid just out the outstretched pad of Martin Jones, and a 17-28 in this second period. The Oilers win the face-off, lead 2-0, and they're in their own defensive zone, and we're settling into a good hockey game here. It doesn't seem like the car crash is coming from the Oilers tonight either. That's kind of been the benefit here, is it seems like the Oilers are well positioned tonight to win a hockey game, and it seems to be coming together so far. You guys reminiscing and dreaming of Jordan Eberle coming back to the Oilers, and potentially Carson Soucy as well. Play to the middle there by Dylan Holloway. Nobody home to put it away and tuck it into the net. So Derek Ryan meets it along the boards. Here's Dylan Holloway again. This man playing a big man's game here against the Seattle Kraken. The last 2, a fight, and obviously that beautiful couple of plays on that sequence for the Oilers as the puck goes up and out of play. And Noah, to you, the Bush and Broberg pairing has been very solid. I think just allowing both of them the proper minutes with the proper partner, the proper time on ice kind of deal is definitely allowing them to succeed together, I think, is the big thing. And I think, Homelander, the question is, we don't need Ebbs at his current price, but if we could get Ebbs at a discount, I'm taking him every day just for the nostalgia. Same thing as a good old Sam Gagner. I would not mind the Oilers picking him back up at the trade deadline for forward depth. I'd take him over Derek Ryan any day, I think. As this will be flipped out by Tyson Barrie, and that's a beauty of a play by Tyson Barrie. He faked the long throw and then just flipped it up to Connor McDavid to do the rest. And this one, well, yes, Puljujarvi battling there, gets it up to Brett Kulak, who goes along the boards, and now the Oilers caught on the pinch, but Puljujarvi disrupts the play and will be able to bat it through the neutral zone enough to hold the play down. Might not have been pretty, but Puljujarvi effective in disrupting the play, the transition for the Seattle Kraken, and that works out as well. A shot fired all the way down to Stuart Skinner, who covers up the puck with 16:04 to go here in this second period. We're liking this here. All right, we are we are rocking here. I'm absolutely loving this stream tonight, folks. I'm having a good time. The Oilers winning, and obviously things coming together right now for sure. As this one, Nugent Hopkins busting out, he will win the face-off. Broberg goes off of the boards, and Klim Kostin out there for the Oilers. It'll be shot down and below the goal line where Yanni Gourde picks it up for the Kraken. He'll drive wide and try to fire this one from the point. Look for the backdoor tippity tap. Couldn't get it going. And the Oilers will sandwich off Soucy in the near side corner. Soucy playing up on forward tonight? No, Burakovsky playing back on the blue line. So I don't know if this is just something they've discovered on the power play, that it is effective to have Soucy down low. But it looks like we will have a stoppage in play because Evan Bouchard is headed to the penalty box for the Edmonton Oilers. Game on as Bouchard kind of battling in front, and it looks like he might have held on to the player in front. And no, what's here? As yeah, it looks like he might have hooked him a little bit. I'm not too sure. But Epiphany getting the new Papa Dog. He'll get interference, will Evan Bouchard. Game on. I think that was the back official calling that. The Oilers penalty kill now ranked 26th in the NHL. The Kraken power play 19th. You don't mind seeing that at all. And here's Nugent Hopkins to play this puck against the Kraken, turning and burning. And the Kraken will see Justin Schultz play it at the blue line. It'll be back to Burkowski, back to Schultz. The one time of the shot, save. Skinner, it trickles into the net with Beniers all over Skinner, and same with Darnell Nurse. And you got to think that there might be a challenge coming here. There's one very happy Seattle Kraken fan, but I think we might want to challenge this one just based on the idea of what happened there, but I don't think it's challengeable because Darnell Nurse pushes Matty Beniers into Stuart Skinner as Beniers just gets down low, and I don't know, man. I think Beniers kind of draws it in, but again, that's one of those. Yeah, I think Patrick, you're going to say you got to challenge that, as I don't think Darnell pushes him as much as Beniers sells it. You just watch this overhead angle. And just watch Darnell Nurse. Like, how much is he really doing with his left hand fully wrapped around Beniers and his rest of his body over Stuart Skinner? I don't know. It's one of those judgment calls. Whatever Jay decides, I'm going to be good with. Because Beniers just really doesn't do much to fight that one off. Jay won't challenge it, so yeah, you know what? It's enough of a push that Jay decides not to. I'm good with that. That's fine by me. Obviously, you know me. I'm an Oilers homer. I want everything to not go against the Oilers, so we won't worry too much about it. It's a 2-1 hockey game. That's one of those fluky plays. I mean, blame Darnell Nurse all you want, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think we're pretty well off still in this hockey game. Beniers, obviously good for a couple of goals on the season. The shot save blocked in front by the Oilers, and this one now loading up. Beniers, another shot tipped in front, and there's the car crash for the Edmonton Oilers. That one, yeah, just that close. Yeah, okay, all right, game on. I was having a good time. See, I shouldn't have said I was having a good time. I cursed us, friends. I cursed us. I said we were having a good time, and it's a delayed penalty against the Oilers, a tripping call against Jared McCann for Brett Kulak, and then the Oilers just are unable to clear the zone. The shot fired, tipped there by Jaden Schwartz, who catches. Catches Stuart Skinner way too far out of his net, and Brett Kulak turned around on the defensive coverage, and back of the net that one goes. I mean, hey, you know what? We'll be fine. And we should be good to go. You play to the whistle unless you're the Oilers. Yeah, that's one problem the Oilers have, is as soon as they take a penalty, they look for the whistle as soon as possible. And the Oilers will take a timeout. And Jay Woodcroft visibly upset on the bench. I mean, Jay Woodcroft is absolutely furious with his team. I don't know if upset or furious is the right word. It looks like he's just a very disappointed gentleman on the bench. Very passionate about why did you do this to me. But 14:45 to go. We'll have a face-off at center ice for the Oilers. And see what they can do, I guess you say. So we'll see what happens here. Jaden Schwartz's 9th goal of the season for the Seattle Kraken. As this one's going to go back the other way, and Leon Draisaitl will turn and burn alongside Warren Fogle, who will dish off to Philip Broberg. Flips up on the shot. And that was a prime shot for Philip Broberg, who flips up on it, and it's almost a breakaway back the other way as Broberg still hadn't glided into position. Come on, boys. No car crash here. Don't give up the lead. Just give up the tie and be fine with it. Bouchard, the bomb. Can't get it through. It's blocked by Tanev. Nobody has a clue where it is. It's back to Yanni Gord, who will carry it into the Oilers zone. And this second period's flipped on a dime here. The Oilers take a 2-0 lead, and then in the span of less than a minute, choke the lead. And we've got, as Jack Michaels just said, a brand new hockey game. This one's going to go back down deep. And that's Kyler Yamamoto battling deep there as Darnell Nurse on the ice with Evan Bouchard here in this second period shift in the defensive zone. Nice disruption by the Oilers. Can't get it across the blue line. Stick save Stuart Skinner. We're trying to get this job done here, but now we can't exit the zone. Shot misses wide of the net. 16-12 the shot. So to the Kraken's credit, they've come back and shot the puck quite heavily here in this second period. 13:19 to go. Draisaitl dumps his man. It freezes the puck up to Evan Bouchard, who will flip it off a Seattle Kraken and then flip it ahead for the Oilers out into the neutral. It's not deep enough to get the Oilers a line change. Kyler Yamamoto, though, heads off as a well-timed change, and the Oilers still can't quite man out this line change, so they'll get everybody off now, and Derek Ryan in the fourth line come across the boards, and it's flipped back into the Kraken zone. 12:53 to go here in the second period. The Oilers, the Kraken, battling. Shouldn't be a battle. The Oilers should still be up 2-0, but that's just me. Here in this second period, 12:40 to go, as the Oilers will see this one flipped in by Adam Larsson. He'll go chasing it down deep against Tyson Barrie. And this one will be off the boards, and see what happens here for the Oilers as they'll go chasing into the offensive zone. Dylan Holloway and Ryan McLeod out there, rimmed around the boards, and the Oilers get it back. High point. They'll fire it down to Derek Ryan, who's got it there for the Oilers. Now Dylan Holloway picks it up and gets it back to the blue line. Tyson Barrie the bomb, and he gets it in front. Another opportunity for the Oilers to free up this puck. Derek Ryan unable to do so, and Dylan Holloway again comes up with a big boy puck battle and is able to get it back to the man down low this time. Derek Ryan along the boards. Derek Ryan under duress gets it back to the point. Brett Kulak fires it around the boards, and it'll go over to Vince Dunn, who sees the boys battle in the corner and gets it back from the scrum over on the near side corner. He'll lead out of the Kraken zone. Look for the pass up into the neutral. It's tipped in by the Kraken. 11:40 to go here in this second period. It'll go around the boards. Nice play by Klim Kostin to pick this pass up, and he'll go into the Oilers' attacking zone with Matthias Janmark chimping it in off a defender. And instead the Kraken are able to regroup that puck and fire it down deep into the Oilers' end. This one on the far side wall, a shot towards the net by the Kraken, misses wide. They were looking for the side tip as well, couldn't get it going, and now Evan Bouchard will play it ahead. And Nugent Hopkins has sprung Matthias Janmark on a mini breakaway, but he had to spin back because of the defense catching up in time. Tip play towards the net. Well, Klim Kostin misses that there. This one goes Nugent Hopkins around the boards to Janmark. Now a chance here by Bouchard. He's offside, but the Oilers, rather than allowing the Kraken a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 the other way, will take it for an offside. And it is 2-2 as Benier's enjoying his big goal, and Jaden Schwartz obviously the one that's got us tied here in this second period of play, making it 2-2. All right, quickly, to just take a look at how things are shaping up here on the stream, my friends, before I send you an ad, just so as you know what the watch time is looking like. 693 times 4.3 equals out to 29.79, so we are 0.4 of a watch hour away from getting that next 50-hour milestone, which means we are 6 views roughly away from doing it, which ain't too bad at all. You leave for a couple minutes and it's tied. Flipperdo, that's just where we're at tonight. This close to doing very well. Anyway, as we're getting going tonight again, friends, I'm going to send you an ad quickly here, and then we should be good to pace over to check the subscribers here, as we are at 98.77 on the day. Again, if you haven't had a chance to hit that subscribe button as of yet, I'd appreciate if you could, simply because, well, let me tell you, it'd be nifty to hit that 10,000 subscriber mark on Sunday, if not sooner. And I think there's a pretty good chance we do that if we can continue to blitz along in tonight's live streams as we have so far over the past couple of weeks. All right. Anything else we need to know as we go along? Nugent Hopkins' goal, what you need to know there, was assisted by Draisaitl and Barrie. I don't know if they've updated it to Hyman as I suspected it should be, but again, I might just be cranked out of my mind on that one. I'm not too sure, but that wouldn't be anything too new for me. Nugent Hopkins from Draisaitl and Hyman, and then McDavid from Janmark and Kulak. So it still sits the same way it was sitting moments ago, and we'll check again the views just here as we're raking along throughout the live stream, upwards of now, last hour having a total of 543 in this hour, having 165. So we're not too bad off here on Dolynny TV. Things coming together right now. All right, 707 times 420. Okay, we've done it. 50 hours on the stream. Not a bad get at all. Thank you again, friends, for being along tonight. Really appreciate you hanging out with me this evening. Always great to sit back here and, of course, see so many familiar faces in the live stream. That's one thing that's been really special about tonight's live stream. Seeing the familiar faces, seeing everyone along for the ride. So many old faces in the Dolynny TV community that continue to come around day in, day out as we close in on that 10,000 subscriber milestone, and the Oilers exit the defensive zone here as they come out with Evan Bouchard passing it ahead. Turnover at the blue line of the Oilers though, and it's 3-on-2 deep into the Oilers zone. This one a play down deep, and it'll be played by Bjorkstrand all the way down to Gord. Gord wearing the A, I believe, for the Kraken this season, as the shot fired into the glove of Stuart Skinner, and we will have another whistle here for the Oilers. This is just where we're sitting, right? It's one of those things of the teams giving up the last 2 goals. We'd like to get the next one. And I mean, I guess you can say it's not going to be as easy of a game as it was the 7-2 victory against the Kraken last time out. So hey, you know what? Let's go grind it out and win a hockey game. I don't care how. Let's just get the job done and hopefully win a big one here, I guess, is really all that I would care about for the Oilers right now, is just win a hockey game any way you can. Adam Larsson on a 7-game point streak for the Kraken. 1 goal, 6 assists so far in that 7-game point streak. So literally averaging a point per game. The truest form of it possible. 9:55 to go here in this second period. And here we go. 17-13 the shots on goal for the Edmonton Oilers after the first half of the hockey game. 9:55 left on the clock here in the second period. Dylan Holloway leads into the offensive zone. Derek Ryan fires a shot turned aside by Martin Jones. And this one will go back behind the Kraken net. 9:42 to go here in the second period of play, as the Oilers see this one tied right now with the Kraken after being up 2-0, and then in the span of a minute choking the lead. But here's Leon Draisaitl in on the attack. He'll button hook, go along the boards, and fire it down to Dylan Holloway, who sees it go past him. And now Cody Ceci in on the attack. Well, Leon Draisaitl again trying to keep this puck alive. Beniers trying to keep it alive, and Adam Larsson finally picks it up, and the Oilers will have to peel off as Leon Draisaitl hustling will get it going, and the Oilers have given up a 2-on-2 back the other way. A nice defensive play there from Yamamoto, and he gets it going as here's Dylan Holloway still on the ice. He's going to fire a shot. He's taking an extended shift here, being on the ice for about the past minute 10, which is unusual to see Dylan Holloway out there for more than about 45 seconds at a time, but good to see him on the ice, getting the vote of confidence from the head coach on that line. Won 3 of 4 all-time games versus the Kraken of the Oilers, and they'd like to try and win, obviously, game number 4 of 5 here tonight, as Fogle will get it going up to Ryan McLeod. And it seems like we've had a little bit of a change of lines, just a little shuffle of the deck here for the Oilers, as Derek Ryan and Dylan Holloway took a shift with Leon Draisaitl, and now McLeod, Fogle, and Yamamoto will take a shift together. They're obviously, I think, the Headball brothers, so we'll see what ends up happening here for this line here put together by Jay Woodcroft as they cross the blue line. And now Matthias Janmark's on the ice for the Oilers. He obviously has an assist this game, so he's on the ice looking to get a little bit more offense generated for the Oilers. Backhander across to Tyson Barrie, and now it was over to Matthias Janmark, who will carry ahead. Nugent Hopkins and Klim Kostin join him on the ice. Janmark goes flying into the zone, and so does Klim Kostin, who wiped out, and it will be an icing call against the Seattle Kraken. All right, we're rocking and rolling, my friends. My hand's hurting more or less every time I think about it, more or less, and that's just kind of where we're at right now. I'll send you guys an ad quickly, and we'll see what else we're missing here on the live stream as it currently goes along. I don't really think there's much all that we've missed so far. I think we've had a pretty sound night so far, and like I said, really the only thing left to say is how much I appreciate you folks being along for the ride here tonight, as it's one of the final countdown, one of the last Oilers streams before Dolynny TV hits 10K. And unfortunately, nothing major changes on Dolynny TV other than the subscriber number, I guess. Wow, Connor McDavid, beautiful individual effort to try and force feed that puck around. He couldn't do it, and here come the Kraken back the other way. Well, that's a nice save for Stuart Skinner, a good one right there. And obviously, too, you know what? You want to criticize Jack Campbell for allowing 2 goals on 17 shots. Stuart Skinner so far has allowed 2 goals on 14 shots here for the Oilers tonight. So hopefully one of those situations that doesn't go awry for Stuart Skinner in net as we are trying to win ourselves a hockey game this evening here against the Seattle Kraken. And just as we're doing it, obviously not coming together here in the mid part of that second period, but eventually it should come together for the Oilers and things should start looking up to some degree here in a matter of moments, I'm sure. And as it sits, friends, we are coming off that live stream last night, and hopefully I can get my butt out of bed tomorrow morning and get on to work for 7 a.m. and then come home and live stream that Canada versus USA semi-final game, because I think that'd be really fun to see what we can get going in this Dolynny TV live stream for the night. But we'll see if that holds to fruition or not, and yeah, just see if we can get it done. Sorry, losing my train of thought looking at some views and stuff here on the back end of YouTube. Gillies TV giving me the vote of confidence there. Well, hold on, we got a long way to go here yet in this game, and obviously a long way to go to that 10,000 subscriber mark yet. What do we got? Okay. We are just blitzing along here tonight. And is there anything we are missing? I don't think there's really anything we're missing here so far through this hockey game. It looks like we got things going here on Twitter. I've missed 93 tweets, so let's see if there's anything we can miss. As Rasmus Sandin looks like he's signed another, he's back in the NHL with the Leafs after being on the IR, and yeah, there isn't much else we've missed so far, so we're good to go here. And alright, friends, that's where we sit. Connor McDavid on the bench for the Oilers to start this shift, so that should mean it's either Leon Draisaitl and the boys, or it is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Klim Kostin, and Matthias Janmark back out there. I imagine that would probably be more like it, but I guess we'll see what happens here in a second. It is Klim Kostin on the ice. I don't think the Oilers have... oh, you're saying Seattle goal right here on this shift. That's what you mean. Seattle will skate in. Schultz on the rebound. Gord scores. Yeah, he does. It's 3-2 for Seattle. Their first lead of the night. I don't know. I don't think this is a game where Connor McDavid quite gives up, but that was not so good. That was not so good. Here I had to curse Stuart Skinner, and maybe tonight, one of those nights not meant to be live streaming, I guess you could say. Skinner the save, and just a weak play there by the Oilers in general. Not necessarily Evan Bouchard, but everybody just for the Oilers getting chasing around, and yeah, Klim Kostin getting beat wide. Evan Bouchard and Matthias Janmark both with the chance to touch that puck. They don't, and it ends up in the back of the Oilers' net. So just like that, it is 3-2 for the Kraken. We'll see what happens here towards the end of the second period, but I think we'll probably head out here after the second period just so as I don't have to get visibly upset on stream, because I don't want to see the Oilers absolutely crap the bed tonight against Seattle Kraken after being up 2-0. It's 3 unanswered goals for the Kraken here, and yeah, not a good result here in the second period since that Connor McDavid goal. The Oilers just need to respond quickly here. Darnell Nurse will lead out of his zone and look to fire up through the neutral. He'll turn back though and work this puck back into possession there for Cody Ceci. Ceci looking to make a play. He'll go up ahead and again down into possession for the Kraken. Almost a breakaway pass. Stuart Skinner plays it off the boards though and denies the Kraken his zone entry. Nice play by, well, who is that? Leon Draisaitl to bump it ahead. And so now it's Draisaitl taking a shift with Jesse Puljujärvi and Zach Hyman. So I'm still not sure what the deployment of Leon Draisaitl is doing this game with Jay Woodcroft. Kind of interesting to see Draisaitl taking shifts with absolutely everybody tonight. Been a weird kind of situation. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. But here's Brett Kulak trying to chase this one out of the zone. The Oilers just have not had much offense this period. 3 shots to Kraken 7. And here's Jesse Puljujärvi hounding The Kraken, the on-rushing Connor McDavid comes in, just misses the net, all created by Puljujärvi on that attack. But yeah, that is just tough right there for the Oilers. Is you come out of that first period absolutely firing, and then you come into the second and pedal the metal, scoring a Connor McDavid goal. Here's McDavid trying to cut it to the middle. Puck goes out of play. Connor McDavid looking for the puck. It deflected up off the glass, and the Kraken able to lead it out back into the neutral zone. Bounces all the way into the Oilers' end, and it'll be met there by Zach Hyman, who dishes off to McDavid. Can't get the pass through, and this will be tipped there by Derek Ryan. Zach Hyman out there now, and this is just, at least they're moving their feet, to be honest, Patrick. That's a welcome sign here with 5 minutes to go in the second period. 17-17 the shots, and hopefully we can get it going as Brett Kulak around the boards. Tolvanen fires the shot. It's blocked in front, and Ryan McLeod can't get to the puck. Shot saved by Stuart Skinner, and Brett Kulak will tip it around behind the net again. Yanni Gourde, the goal scorer, has got it to 3-2, has it. He gets it all the way back down deep on a pass to the blue line, and the defenseman fired it down for him. And this one is going to be an icing call. Vince Dunn touches up. And Michael, to your point about the Oilers having the worst defense in the NHL, here's the thing. I think the only reason Oilers fans say we have the worst defense in the NHL is because we watch the Oilers defense night in, night out. There's much, much worse teams in the NHL than the Oilers, and the defense on those teams is much, much worse. I can probably point to 5 teams, if you give me the standings, that their defense is much, much worse than ours. Anyway, it seems like it is now 4-2 for the Kraken, somebody's saying in the chat. And this one, Schwartz backdoor to, oh my goodness, standing still again. And it is 4-2 as Jared McCann scores the goal, and Jay Woodcroft is motioned for Jack Campbell to come into this hockey game. Stuart Skinner getting no help, but also not very much so on his game today. And here comes Jack Campbell into the Oilers' net. And the security guards moving down the tunnel, getting ready for Stuart Skinner to go to the locker room. Skinner will shake off, and he sees Jack Campbell come onto the ice. So that will be that as Jack Campbell gets ready to come into this hockey game now for the Edmonton Oilers here. And just another opportunity here for the Kraken to score a big goal. Stuart Skinner goes down the tunnel. He's a little visibly upset with himself, but is what it is. And just tough for Skinner. Not really his fault at all here tonight, and just off his glove there. And then Tyson Barrie standing still trying to get to the front of the net and ends up in the back of your net. I mean, Brett Kulak's in the high slot. He lets his man get past him. Tyson Barrie's slow to cutting it off, and she ends up in the back of your net. And she's one of those nights for the Edmonton Oilers here as Stuart Skinner remains on the bench. So good teammate Stuart Skinner doesn't go storming down the tunnel after his teammates leave him hanging out to dry. And that's where we see things as it goes down the ice. And Klim Kostin in on the attack. Matthias Janmark getting in on the foreattack. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins trying to come to this attack, but can't seem to get it going as this one will be fired down into the Oilers zone. This game has taken a turn for the worse for the Edmonton Oilers, that is for sure. As this one goes back to the blue line, and Adam Larsson keeps it in, and it will be fired back down into the far side corner. Kraken play it to the near side now, and there's Yanni Gourde. He's been all over this game in the second period. He's got it back. Bjorkstrand's got it at the blue line. He fires the point shot. Goes around to the boards, and there's an opportunity to fire another shot. It's cut off there by the Oilers. Breakaway pass if they want it, and they just can't get it through to Nugent-Hopkins. And knowing the Oilers winning 5-4 in overtime would not be an unexpected result, that is for sure. But it will be an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers opponent, Seattle Kraken. So there we go. Philip Broberg touches up. And another guy who wears his helmet weird, it is Philip Broberg. He kind of wears that visor up on the forehead. Kind of a weird situation if you've ever seen him wearing his visor out there. We make fun of Puljujärvi for it, but he's another guy that wears it weird as just a weird situation, I guess you could say, for the Oilers and their visor-wearing teammates. As this one, Leon Draisaitl out there with Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid. There you go, Gillies TV. That's when they're paired together right now. This one's going to be back to the blue line. Evan Bouchard fires the shot. It's blocked in front. Goes wide to the boards to Philip Broberg. Chipped down to Connor McDavid. Tipped there by Evan Bouchard. And Zach Hyman will come up, play this puck at the blue line. Can't get it going. And now Philip Broberg regroups in his own zone. And the Oilers look to break this one back the other way. Leon Draisaitl back in on the attack. Here's Connor McDavid across to Evan Bouchard. Rifles the shot. Save Martin Jones. Back into possession for the Kraken. Back the other way it comes. As Jordan Eberle will lead into the zone. He can't get past Philip Broberg, who gets it across to Evan Bouchard. And now Leon Draisaitl will skate it into the Oilers' attacking end. Leon Draisaitl in on the attack as we near exactly 2 minutes to go here in this second period of play. The Oilers D to D, and Darnell Nurse fires the shot down deep. It doesn't get to anyone until Zach Hyman flutters it over to Leon Draisaitl. Back to the blue line, Cody Ceci. Man, could we use a Cody Ceci goal right here, let me tell you. Connor McDavid will fire this down to Leon Draisaitl, or Darnell Nurse, as it was backdoor to Zach Hyman. He couldn't tap it in, and this one will get past the Oilers blue liners of Ceci and Darnell Nurse. A line change for the Kraken. And the Oilers' top dogs out there running show right now in the Kraken zone. Still came up empty though, and here come the young kids across the ice as it's, well, who is it? It's Holloway and McLeod. Darnell Nurse beat to this puck, allowing Jaden Schwartz to come up with it for the time being. He'll dump it back down deep, and this is again sustained zone time for the Kraken here on a play where Darnell Nurse selected not to play the puck. Cody Ceci will come up with it, however. Chip it into the neutral zone as Brandon Tanev ties it up, but now the Oilers 3-on-2 back the other way. Here comes Dylan Holloway, and he will come in on the attack, given off to Ryan McLeod, who gets it back to the blue line. Brett Kulak will fire it on deep, and I'm going to have to quit after this second period because let me tell you, I'm losing touch here as this game goes along. Just kind of disappointed in the boys tonight, and we'll see if shutting off the stream changes anything in the universe tonight. Darnell Nurse goes around the boards. He'll see it go to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who will go back to the blue line. Unless we get a goal here to close out the period. If we get a goal before the end of the period, that might change my mind a little bit, but we got 30 seconds to go here in this second period, and it looks like it'll come to an end before we get a goal, as this one will go all the way down into the Oilers' attacking end. Again, the Kraken back behind their own net, coming up with this puck. It'll be played ahead, and we will have an icing call here as the Oilers do indeed beat the Kraken to that puck, and both players not too happy with the late icing call. And we are just looking at my hands here as I got a little bit of a bruise forming on my hand here where it smacked off the wall earlier today. That was a pretty hard hit, let me tell you. Like I said, the cat was on my arm, and then I went to shoo him off, and I flung her right in, not quite fully awake, and smashed her off the wall pretty good. So we'll see what ends up happening tonight. And here's Connor McDavid coming in across the blue line. He's got an opportunity with 1 second. Nobody can get a shot, so that will do it, my friends. 51 of you in here hearing me say good night, friends. We'll talk in the post-game if there's anything worthwhile talking about in the post-game. I may still have that video about Evander Kane up later tonight post-game if I really don't feel like talking about this Oilers loss, because there isn't really much to talk about other than the Oilers not giving Stuart Skinner the support he needs night in, night out. Anyways, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening, friends. Let's hope me shutting off the live stream turns around this hockey game, alright? I'm not doing this because I want to shut the stream off necessarily. I am just, hey, you know what? If we're going to be disappointed in the Oilers tonight, I don't need to sit here and visibly show it. We can show it in the post game if I want. But instead, I'm going to hope I change a little bit of karma up for the Oilers and we get it going in the post game with hopefully, like Noah said, a 5-4 overtime win. But that said, we got a period of play to go. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to go upstairs, have another plate of dinner, and see what the third period brings. Enjoy the rest of the hockey game, friends. Thanks so much for being along this evening. Really appreciate you being here with me. Have a great night, and we will catch you